And then we got Khamzat Chimaev taking on Nate Diaz. This one's a good one too. I think people are sleeping on Nate. I think Nate's coming in
interesting
with a little bit of a chip on his shoulder because I think he's got a couple of things to prove. He's going to prove that he can go with this guy. It's going to be 5 rounds. As long as he's got that scar tissue shit taken care of, I think this fight is going to be very competitive.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
I feel like he hung in there with Leon. Like, Leon didn't really... It was one-sided, but Leon didn't make it one-sided. Like, yo, you were getting your ass kicked every single round badly where the ref was going to stop every single round. It wasn't like that. And then he landed that one really good shot towards the end of round 5 where he starts pointing at him, and Leon's on rocky legs. Oh, that's no pun intended. His name's Rocky.
Oh.
So with that being said, you look at Khamzat and his fight with Burns, and Burns humanized him. Burns took the aura, took the light, and he dimmed it all the way down. And that's for me, that showed that he's good, but he's not the best guy right now.
He's not the best guy.
Not right now.
But he's better than Gilbert Burns.
Some people still think Gilbert won that fight. I mean,
we
were there.
I thought Gilbert lost.
You thought he lost? Like, yeah,
I thought he lost the last round, which sealed the deal.
I thought that last round was close.
It was.
And then I would have to watch it again to really score that round to go, okay, now I can see why he won, or I can see why people say that Burns won. So I'm not saying yes or no. I'm just saying, like, that fight is still like a flip-flop for fans.
All right, let's say it's just even for the sake of conversation. He's on Gilbert Burns' level.
He's good. He's good.
He's not been... I mean, Nate's still competitive, but he's not been as good. He's also had a lot of time off.
And he fought Masvidal and got pieced up really badly.
Yeah.
And that's why I was talking about the dynamic striking and the speed of Masvidal for his striking. But then the scar tissue, his face was like literally about to fall off.
Yeah. I mean, and
that doesn't help him
He's
whatsoever.
damaged.
Yeah. So it's not like if you take away the scarring, then it's just like, damn, could that fight have shaped up into something else? We don't know. Because sometimes Masvidal gets tired in the past. You see Chimaev, he slowed down a bit against Burns.
Yeah.
You get a guy who's known to gas pedal guys and get them exhausted. It's an interesting fight. I think people are kind of writing him off too early. But I think if Khamzat takes him down right away and gets on his back, maybe he chokes him out real quick. But you're talking about Nate Diaz. I don't think... he's a BJJ black belt. Like, he will pull guard in a fight. Like, that's how confident he is in his BJJ skills. So, with that being said, I think it's a more competitive fight. But the scar tissue and the damage, if he gets popped, which he will that make the fight look worse than what it actually is from somebody else who's a little bit fresher in the face?
But I also wonder how much power does Khamzat have? Like, can he do a lot of damage to Nate?
I mean, he cracked Burns with some shit.
Yeah.
I think he can. But he also took a lot of shots.
Because I think Khamzat said he wants to finish Nate.
Yeah, I'm sure he wants to finish everybody.
Yeah,
that's
but like
goal.
he tweeted out like, I'm gonna be the guy to finish Nate Diaz because like nobody was able to.
Well, Masvidal did, but it was kind of a doctor jumping in saying like the damage was too significant.
Yeah, but
he was getting his ass kicked.
He was, yeah, for sure. I don't know. I feel like Nate. There's no way for him to really win. He can do good.
I think he could submit him.
Submit Khamzat?
Yeah. By exhaustion, get him tired, and then jumping on a submission.
Dude,
the same way he did Conor McGregor.
I kind of hope that happens, and he just fucks up the whole UFC's plans. Like,
I don't know who's gonna win this fight. It's gonna be a good one either way. But I think people are writing off Nate and making it seem like he has no way. Like, obviously the odds are severely in the favor of Khamzat Chimaev.
Yeah,
he's a dog. He's a beast.
Yeah,
but I think Nate's got the experience that Khamzat doesn't really have. I think he got a lot of it now after going with Burns toe to toe like that. That should have been a 5-round fight. But whatever, 3-round fight. Sometimes you're not gonna be able to get all these fights at a 5-rounder. And imagine that fight going for 2 more rounds, bro. I don't know how does that fight end?
I feel like really both of them like were gassed out by then, so it would have just been insane.
Yeah. And Khamzat's a big dude. He's a big dude. That's
huge.
That's the
he cuts a lot of weight.
Yeah, that's
we
the other
saw
side
him
of it.
that week. He looked like he was suffering. from the weight cut.
Yeah, he's a big guy.
Yeah.
And Nate's not the biggest welterweight. We seen when he fought Rory McDonald, he kind of got ragdolled a bit in that one. Roy literally just picked him up multiple times and just kind of just kept slamming him on the ground.
Yeah.
So that kind of that worries me a bit going into this one. But I think Nate's going to be, I think he's just got a lot more experience since that has happened to him way back then. That was like, what, almost 10 years ago.
So Nate's path to victory is like gas.
He's got to get him tired.
And then
he's not going to outstrike him, which he probably could. But
is he going to out-grapple him?
Khamzat's not going to stand there and strike with him and give him a chance to like stay in the fight. He's gonna strike just enough to get to the single leg, then get to the double, pick his ass up, bring him over to Dana, maybe talk to Dana a little bit, slam him down, and then try to finish the fight. But I think Nate's crafty enough to survive. And I think that's what's going to make it interesting because he's not going to be like Leach. He's not going to be like any of these other guys who kind of just have no idea how to defend a submission.
Yeah.
And I think with that, like, what's he going to do? Ground and pound him? I think Nate's pretty good on the ground, whereas, like, he's going to be able to tie him up. I just think this fight's going to be a lot more competitive where Khamzat is strong. Diaz is also strong. He's just a smaller and not as big of a guy.
No.
And I think that's what's going to make it different. The difference, like, can he get him tired enough that he can stay in the fight and find a way to kind of get him out of there? Because he ain't going to win the decision. I don't think he's beating him by decision.
No. The only way, I guess, is, submission.
The same way Conor beat him by decision. He had a war of attrition. He just had to chip away and survive the Nate Diaz comeback. So can he do that with Khamzat?
Shit. I don't know.
I think Khamzat still wins.
Yeah.
But I think Diaz is going to make it interesting, and Diaz having just one more fight, I think he wants to go do other things and make more money doing other sports, maybe boxing a Jake Paul. So kudos to him, man. I don't see why he shouldn't do something like that.
That's why, bro, if he beats Khamzat,
it's like, fuck you, I'm out.
Leaves and boxes Jake Paul, his value is so high. I do want to ask you, what does this fight do for Khamzat?
I don't think it does anything.
Like, I'm
other than just
confused.
A popular fight. It's just a popularity fight.
But yeah, like he just beat Gilbert Burns. Now he's fighting Nate Diaz in his ascension to the title shot. I just don't see what this does for him. Like a win, like where it doesn't advance him really. It just makes him more popular.
Yeah, I agree. I don't think this is more high. What would you call it? High risk and people. But he might say it's not a risk at all. But I think it's high risk, low reward.
High risk in the sense that if you lose to Nate Diaz,
yeah, it's like, what does it do for you? Like, you're already the guy at the top. Like, you are on the doorstep of title shot. Go fight a Bilal, even though they probably don't want him to fight Bilal.
I feel like
Bilal says he wants to fight.
I feel like he should have fought Colby. I think he's
Colby ain't taking that fight. Stylistically,
to me, that's the fight to get.
He's the bigger Colby Covington, except with maybe striking still pretty even, but he's the bigger Colby Covington. Well, he could do what Colby does.
But yeah, but then so what does Nate like? I don't know. What does he do after? What does he do after he beats Nate? Does he fight Bilal or Colby?
Nah, he's just there. He's just in this
or
void,
Leon
dancing around like.
I feel like the only guy.
I eat everybody, brother. I eat everybody.
I feel like the only guy who could beat him right now is Kamaru. Like, I actually think Kamaru would beat him.
Yeah.
So it's like, I don't know. It doesn't seem like, it seems like all the other guys are like too small. I mean, Gilbert could probably beat him in a 5-round fight.
I think they had a rematch. The rematch is completely different, and I still don't know who wins. I think that fight is just stylistically, their attributes match up very, very well.
Yeah.
So
And Gilbert
ain't no bitch. Khamzat ain't no bitch either.
No.